25-year-old student Jesse Rendez is suing his schoolmate, 25-year-old student Donnell Scobie, for dental bills due to an assault. Donnell is countersuing for a false arrest.
Mr. Rendez, what school did you go to?
San Francisco State University.
And how long have you known Mr. Scobie?
Approximately a year and a half.
It is your claim that Mr. Scobie assaulted you, caused you some physical injury. You want him to compensate you for that and also to pay some of your dental bills.
Correct.
Mr. Scobie says that he acted in self-defense and he's countersuing. He says because of your actions, he spent some time in jail, limited time, and his academic record was placed at risk. When did this incident happen and where, sir?
It happened approximately at 4:15 or 4/18/2002 in the kinesiology department of San Francisco State University.
Tell me what happened.
First, I'd like to state that, yes, the defendant and I were friends. However, if I would have known about the defendant's history of violent crime and...
Tell me what happened.
I'll tell you what happened? Okay. Well...
And try looking at me when you tell me what happened.
Sure. Okay, Your Honor. Like I said, on 4/15 or 4/18/2002, I asked the defendant to use a cellular phone of his. Being that we were friends and I have let him use my cellular phone in the past, I figured that he would definitely let me use the cell phone. He said no, he couldn't let me use the phone. I explained to him that it wasn't...
Did he tell you why?
Not at that point. He didn't tell me why. That's when I explained to him it's emergency. Can I please use the cell phone? It is an emergency. I let him know that. And then that's when he told me why he couldn't.
And what did he say?
That it's not my phone. That's when we began to get into an argument. I told him, you're not going to let me use this phone. It's an emergency. That's when I said, I really don't want anything to do with you any longer. I would appreciate it if you wouldn't be my friend anymore.
Mr. Rendez, that doesn't sound like language you use when you're annoyed. Why don't you tell me what you said to him?
I exchanged violent words with him as far as...
Violent words with him?
Yeah, as far as bad words. Not violent words, bad words. You know, F you, this, don't F with me anymore. I just, you know.
Right.
That's when the defendant went outside and gestured me to fight him. I told him I did not want to fight him at school because my standing at school would be affected, Your Honor. I did not want anything to do with him as far as a physical confrontation.
No, just a second. That's not what you said to him.
Well, I did say, Your Honor, that I didn't want to have any physical confrontation at school. I said that.
You said, I don't want to have any physical confrontation at school. Those were your words. That's what you want me to believe?
Well, not like that. I said,
No. Then understand me, sir. I want you to tell me what you said to him. He's gesturing to you to come on and fight him, and you said...
Then that's when I turned away and walked away from him.
Oh, well, because you just told me before. You told him that you didn't want to have any confrontation at school with him because you didn't want it to affect your academic standing.
Correct.
That didn't take place.
No, it did. That was when we were... I'm sorry, Your Honor. That was when we were walking down the hallway. When we were walking down the hallway, that's when I said, I'm not going to fight you at school. This is going too far. I do not want to fight you at school and have anything at school to jeopardize my standing at school. Then that's when he went outside. He went outside and gestured for the fight. That's when I turned around. I began to walk away from him to defuse the situation. I did not want a confrontation with him, Your Honor. That's when he came in. He rushed in the doors. I turned around, Your Honor, and then bam, that's when the assault occurred.
Tell me about the assault.
I turned around. Boom, that's when the assault began. Everything went flying.
No, I don't understand what boom means.
Well, boom, that's when I was struck in the face, Your Honor.
I'm
sorry.
That's an answer.
I'm sorry. That's when I was struck in the face.
And that's when your tooth was injured.
That's when my tooth was injured, correct. That's when my tooth was chipped.
And what did you do after you were struck in the face?
All I remember, Your Honor, is the defendant kept saying, it's going to keep getting worse, it's going to keep getting worse. He kept repeating, it's going to keep getting worse. When I was trying to get as close to the defendant as possible so I could try to wrap him up so that I wouldn't get it hit any more times. That's when I wrapped him up and we began to wrestle. I kind of shook him off me, and then that's when I went to the office to receive help, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, now, Mr. Scobie, your version of the event, sir.
Okay, it was, like the plaintiff said, it was April 18th. I was with a study group studying. I needed to make a call later to a friend that I had a date with. I borrowed a friend's cell phone, went outside, made my call. As I was finishing my call, the plaintiff walked up to me, asked me, can I use your phone? And like he said before, we were friends. We played basketball numerous times together. We were on the same teams together. And I told him, the woman whose phone this is she told me to make the phone call quick for myself. So, let alone I'm not going to let the plaintiff use the phone. So I said, no, you can't use the phone, but here, I have a pocket full of change. I even gestured to give the guy some change. That's when he said, in curse words to me, you're a punk, just kept going on and on. I didn't know where this came from. Him and I, a couple days earlier, had hung out and actually had lunch together. Or even, I think, earlier that day.
You didn't let him have your phone, and he was frustrated. So he used a lot of bad language.
Yes, he said...
Keep going.
And so he used a bunch of foul language to me. I said, you, and I walked away from the plaintiff. That's when the plaintiff opened the door, came in, and so my back's to him. I'm walking down the hall, and gestured to me, you want to handle this?
Keep going.
And so I walk up to him and I say, whatever, you want to handle it? What are you talking about? He goes, let's go out back. So I start walking down another hall. The whole time he's ranting and raving, I'm going to whoop your punk so-and-so. At that point, the plaintiff swooped behind me, tripped me from behind, Your Honor. I started to fall down. As I fell down, I gained my position I thought the guy was attacking me because it wasn't like we're going to, take a walk in the park. He was telling me he's going to kick my. So, and that's when I turned around out of self-defense and, struck exactly. So the plaintiff then gets geared up. He comes with a flurry of punches, of which, this incident didn't just happen right here. He pursued me on numerous occasions. As I tried to walk away, he came at me with at least 5 or 6 punches. And yes, I said it's going to get worse. I'm thinking he's coming at me. I'm backpedaling in my flip-flops. It's going to get worse. I'm not going to just sit here and let you throw punches at me. At one point, I tripped on my flip-flops. The plaintiff tried to get on top of me. I grabbed the plaintiff's arms. A woman walks by. He turns his attention to her, and I slip out of the incident. He had my shirt, and he's like saying, it ain't over. It's not over, and all this stuff. And I'm like, at the worst, he's going to want to fight me again. So I headed to the health center.
Okay. You went to the health center to get your hand fixed.
Yes, I did.
You injured your hand. You hit him so hard, right?
It wasn't a calculated punch, but yes, I did injure my hand. Because
you hit him so hard?
Yes.
Okay. So what kind of injuries did you suffer, sir?
A chipped tooth, severely chipped tooth from the blow.
And you? What did you suffer?
A laceration on my left finger, left hand.
You're not even suggesting that I deal with that. You punched him. You want me to suffer?
No, he started the fight. Okay. Injuries aside, he started the fight.
Keep going.
After that, the plaintiff rushes to the office to where I work. I teach water aerobics to the elderly. I'm a weight training instructor.
So he filed a complaint?
He filed a complaint.
Were you arrested?
Yes, I was.
Scobie. What happened with those charges?
Those charges were dropped. I was readmitted to school to get back in. I had numerous teachers write letters of recommendation, which I have here.
Anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Rendez?
Yes, I would just like to say, Your Honor, the injury that I suffered from this assault, it really hurt me, Your Honor.
You behaved badly, Mr. Rendez.
I know, I said some bad things, Your Honor.
You behaved badly, Mr. Rendez.
I know.
Sir, you did.
I know, Your Honor, I said some things, but that does not excuse this man's assault on me because I said a few bad words to him. The sweep kick that he claims occurred did not occur. I did not sweep kick the defendant, Your Honor.
How do I know that?
It's written in the police report. Can I please present that?
Sure, show me. I'd like to see that.
That's a copy of the police report. I've highlighted a few things.
Don't highlight, I read. This incident report, Mr. Rendez, absolutely gives your version of the events, and it gives Mr. Scobie's version of the events.
Correct.
How come you didn't highlight, because you highlighted a lot of things, Mr. Rendez, how come you didn't highlight the part of his statement where he says that you swept kicked him against his leg and he turned around and he hit you?
Because there was no sweep kick, Your Honor.
Just a second, that's what you say. That's what you say. That's why I read the whole thing. According to your statements to the police, there was no sweep kick. According to the defendant's report to the police, there was. But you conveniently neglected to highlight that. How come?
Because that did not occur. That sweep kick did not occur, Your Honor.
You behaved badly, Mr. Rendez.
I know I did, and I definitely said some things that weren't right, and I'm sorry to the defendant for that, but I never once swept kicked the defendant, Your Honor.
Mr. Rendez, your case is dismissed. Mr. Scobie, your counterclaim is dismissed. You both behaved badly that day. You, Mr. Rendez, I have a sense, was very, very angry. You had asked your friend to borrow a cell phone. He said no. You overreacted. You started cursing at him. And the two of you behaved very badly. You, unfortunately, got the worst of the deal. He got a cut hand that required some stitches, and you lost a tooth. That's what happens when two people act like idiots, when two men act like idiots. If he said, no, I'm sorry, you can't borrow the cell phone because it doesn't belong to me, you turn around, you say, thank you very much, and you go find something else to do. You don't start cursing at him because that precipitates an argument. You curse at him, you call his mother names, he curses at you, he called your mother names, and then all of a sudden you get into an incident where everybody's acting a little too hot. You both suffered. Chalk it up to experience. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Why does I excuse you? Step out.
Well, the defendant has an extensive history of violence.
When I was a juvenile, I was arrested twice for two little things.
The guy is violent.
One stealing, and the other one for lighting little paper fire airplanes and throwing them off my roof. That's the only history that I have.
An angry guy.
Anybody knows him, they know what a sweet guy he is.
Still out there, and he's going to hurt someone else.
He's got tons of friends. There's no violent history, and I don't know why that even came up.